السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we send peace and blessings upon the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his entire household and his companion. My brothers and sisters, Islam is something very, very important. It's a topic that is discussed very well. My brothers and sisters, you see, Islam is something we should not play with. Islam is something we should hold very serious. The religion Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created for us, subhanallah. MashaAllah. Islam is a wonderful gift from Allah to us mu'min. It's something that we can't even imagine, we can't think about. There are different things in Islam that is very beneficial. The day of judgment, the death, the day of Jumu'ah, there are different things. But I'll be beginning with the day of Jumu'ah, subhanallah. The day of Jumu'ah is a day in which we as Muslims gather in a particular mosque to pray our salah, to perform our salah. And the day of Jumu'ah is the day which this dunya was created. And that same day would be the day in which we would be on the day of Qiyamah. It would be the day of Qiyamah, the day of resurrection. Subhanallah. MashaAllah, what a wonderful day. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us part of those who would enter Jannatul Firdaus. My brothers and sisters, death, subhanallah, death is something very, very important. And most of us don't take that serious. We're supposed to take that serious. That is part of what we should think of every single day of our life. That is not something you would forget about. That is not something you would play with. That is not something you would just, forget about that. Think of the kind of time you would go and meet your maker. Am I going to die in the time of my best deeds? Am I going to die in the best of my deeds? Am I going to die when I'm performing something very, very wrong? Am I going to die when I'm giving sadaqah? Am I going to die when reciting the Quran? Am I going to die when I'm in salah? Am I going to die when doing something very bad? Am I going to die when making my parents angry? Subhanallah. We need to think about all those things. Think about them. We need to perform things daily that would say, Subhanallah. Am I going to die when doing these good deeds? Am I going to die in the month of Ramadan? Am I going to die in the time that we, all the people in this dunya, would be saying, Subhanallah, this brother, he was a good brother to us. He was a calm brother. He was a brother that we learned things from. He was a brother that we learned not just things, but good deeds. The brother that taught us how to recite the Quran, not the brother that teach us how to smoke, teaches us how to fight, teach us how to quarrel one another, teach us bad deeds, subhanallah. That when you remember this every single day, make sure you recite different du'as. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything. يَعْلَمُ مَا كَانَ وَمَا يَكُونُ وَمَا لَمْ يَكُنْ إِذَا كَانَ كَيْفَ يَكُنْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what happened, if it were to happen, how it will happen. Allah knows. So we make sure we take care of the way we behave. We make sure every single thing we do it according to the teachings of Islam. Allah knows everything, and that is very, very compulsory. كل نفس ذائقة الموت. Every single soul shall taste death. Allah knows that even before the day of your death, Allah knows which time, which seconds, which minutes you are going to die. You are going to leave this dunya. Beside Allah, no one else knows when you are going to die. So we make sure we think of death every day. That's supposed to be one of our compulsory thoughts in our mind. Allah might take someone you love very well, but he take that person from your life just maybe because of he wants you to change. If Allah might leave that person might make you, that person might be the reason you enter hellfire, you enter Jahannam. Allah loves his believers. Allah loves Muslims. Allah loves those who believe in his oneness. So we make sure death is very compulsory. Allah says, Kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut. That is not something which you use and play. Every soul might taste death. وَمَنْ هَلَكَتِ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have not created mankind nor jinkind except for they should worship me alone. Allah created mankind and jinkind. Subhanallah, subhanallah. Allah is the most gracious, the most merciful, the creator of the earth, the creator of every single living thing. And now we go to recitation of the Quran. It is something very, very important as well as the other two we just speak about. Reciting the Quran is an important topic also. See, when you are reciting the Quran, it make the heart free. It make the heart free of burdens. It make the heart feels as if those weight on it has gone. Subhanallah. Allah is a merciful God. He brought different things for us. He knows when to do something, and he doesn't keep a test on a believer that would make the believer feel very, very tough. It will make the believer feel very uncomfortable. Subhanallah. No. Allah created this dunya and he knows what and when to do something to his believers. Look at Al-Kahf. Allah brought it for us. It is mainly to recite Surah Al-Kahf. It is advisable to recite it on Friday. You can recite it any other day, but on Friday it's supposed to be something compulsory. Let's just read some few ayahs. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدنه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا ماكثين فيه أبدا وينذر الذين قالوا اتخذ الله ولدا ما له به من علم ولا لآبائهم كبرت كلمات تخرج من أفواههم إن يقولون إلا كذبا فلعلك باعث نفسك على آثارهم إن لم يؤمنوا بهذا الحديث أسفا. Subhanallah. Look at this wonderful Quran recitation. Then we'll look at Surah Al-Fatiha. Allah brought it is something compulsory when you want to pray. Allah knows why he made the surah compulsory. Let's look at the meaning. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praises and thanks is due to Allah, the Lord of mankind. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the most gracious, the most merciful. Maliki Yawmiddin, the master and the owner of the day of judgment. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. You alone we worship and you alone we ask for help. Ihdina sirad al-mustaqim, guide us to the straight path. Sirad al-lazina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin, and not to the path of those who you have bestowed your anger upon, but to the path of those who you have favored. Subhanallah. Look at this wonderful dua. Allah knows why he kept the dua first very compulsory before we come about reciting another surah. And even if you are somebody that doesn't has time to recite the Quran that much, at least we say when you go to the Quran, recite each ayah every day. When you come today, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, you come, Qul huwa Allahu ahad. It is something. Then tomorrow you come and open Allahu Samad. Next tomorrow, maybe when you come, it would be interesting for you to say, Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. It would be interesting that you go to 2 ayahs. The next day you come, you might go, قل أعوذ برب فلق من شر ما هلك ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاسات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. Subhanallah. When you keep reciting the Quran, Allah would put that sweetness, that very interesting Quran in your heart. You would love to recite it every day. Sometimes you would love to recite 2 pages of the Quran every day. Subhanallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make these 3 important topics we just speak about very, very important in our life, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it something we use and it should be very useful to us. بارك الله فيكم. أقول قولي هذا وصلى الله وسلم على رسول الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.